Pet scams on the rise throughout this pandemic, including really now that we're in this holiday season. Big numbers here, not only financially, just the number of scams going on. And the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau, San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California, Lori Wilson, joins us to talk about this. And Lori, I'll just ask about demand first. I mean, demand in general this time of year in the holiday season for pets, dogs, and cats is usually pretty high anyways.
It's really high because, so many kids want a puppy or a kitten for Christmas. But because of the pandemic, the demand's even higher. People are needing and wanting company. They have time to potty train a puppy. So the demand is even higher than normal right now.
And because we're in the pandemic and so many of us are working from home, are the scammers, are they really seeking people out who are online? So the victims, are they going online and trying to find a dog or find a cat, and that's where they're being hit here?
Absolutely. And the scammers, these puppy scams have been around for a very long time. Right now, they're so prevalent that anybody looking for a pet online is likely to see a scam website. There's pretty much no doubt about it. There are so many of them. And the pandemic creates, that perfect storm for a scammer. And that is, you can't come and see the puppy. You can't pick it up in person because of COVID restrictions. So we're really encouraging people, whether you use Zoom or FaceTime or, every opportunity to video chat with somebody who you think is going to sell you a pet. Try and get them to video chat with you and the pet, both of you. I mean, both the person and the pet. And that way, if they give you a reason they can't, even if it's just, oh, my computer broke today, it's a scam if they won't do that.
If I could have you dial in on maybe one example, and if you know the backstory from the woman in Fairfield, Solano County, there in the Bay Area, because it's eye-opening. Because I almost felt like this individual got hit not just once, but like multiple times, hundreds of dollars, adding up to about 2,000. If you could just tell that story.
Absolutely. So, these stories happen when somebody is looking online. The most popular pet, and the woman in Fairfield was looking for a Yorkshire Terrier. And so those and the French Bulldogs are the most popular scammed pets right now. And so you go online, you find the cutest little thing and you purchase it. And then they reach back out to you. And they reach back out to you, somebody was told the airport rejected the crate, so you need to buy a new crate. So there's a variety of things they're going to try and get extra money from you. And the more you say yes, that you're guaranteed they're going to try one more thing, whether it's medicine, insurance, a COVID-19 vaccine for your pet, which there isn't one, extra airline fees, quarantine fees. There's a lot of them. As long as the consumer keeps buying, they're going to keep selling.
How does the scammer actually get the money? So, I think of cash transactions, when you're getting an animal, is this via credit card, debit card? They've gotten that smart. They can do that now over when it comes to pet adoption.
Well, legitimate pet adoption is a whole different story, but the scammers, Mike, they are, they're not set up for credit cards because the credit card companies won't usually allow them to use a credit card.
Okay.
What they'll do often in the older times was ask you to wire money, ask for gift cards, and they're still wanting gift cards. But if they can convince you to pay them through one of the peer-to-peer payment apps like Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App, they're going to do that because that way they don't have to rely on you getting in your car, driving to a store and buying the gift cards. They can just get that money instantly. And those peer-to-peer payment apps were created for friends to pay each other. They're not set up with any guarantees or protections against fraud. So you definitely don't want to buy something through a peer-to-peer payment app.
So when I hear pet scams, I think, and I'll be honest, I'll say, okay, maybe a couple dozen here and there. And then you see the numbers, and I gotta say, I mean, just last November of last year, according to the BBB, 77 complaints into your office. 1 year later, just last month, 337 complaints. 2017, I mean, this is a $450,000 in scams. You guys are projecting $3.1 million in losses by the end of this month, basically for the year 20. I mean, that's an enormous amount of scamming going on that is overwhelming complete
Yeah.
compared to what I thought initially.
Yes, it's enormous. And we estimate that only about 8.5% of people who are scammed report it. So imagine that number. Imagine how high that number goes. It's really amazing. And for the scammers, these pet scams are big business.
So when people are actually looking for, let's just say a dog, for example, are they just getting on Google and these are just kind of fake advertisements, or are they
Their
fake
websites.
companies?
Their websites. They're fake websites. They look professional. They've got, every tab you can imagine. They've got their privacy policies. They're not, they're made to look legitimate. And if you do a Google search on these photos, you're going to find that that picture of that puppy you think you might be buying is on any number of other websites. So they're just cutting and pasting. Once somebody catches on, they just create a new one with a similar look and feel and a different URL.
So I've adopted two dogs in the last 10 years, and we've always used the same organization where I'm at in the Bay Area. And we've always met the animal first before there's been an exchange of money. Hung out with the animal a couple times in one case. So, I mean, that would be my recommendation is like, just don't exchange money, be in person. Is the BBB offering up any other recommendations for people who are looking to get a pet?
Well, the only other, that is the best recommendation, first
Okay.
of all.
Yeah.
It is COVID, right? And there are breeders that, are careful. But I don't know of any breeders that would not welcome you to drive up and socially distance and get that pet. A lot of people want, especially if you've got young kids, you want to see that pet so you can make sure that it's friendly, that, there's that little, good feeling of this is the right pet for our family. But yeah, you really do want to see the pet. If the price of the pet is much lower than you'd anticipate, or when you're looking online, that's a red flag as well. So I would be super careful there.
Have you had any conversations, I don't know if you do, with law enforcement in regards to them being able to track any of these scammers down?
I haven't personally had those conversations, Mike, but we know that there are ongoing actions taken by law enforcement. There have been a few recent actions across the US, but it's really difficult because the vast majority of these types of scams originate out of the country. And, it's pretty hard to track the money train, when, especially if people are buying gift cards, it's really hard to track.
Well, I appreciate the BBB getting the word out for everyone, especially now that we are in full swing of the holiday season this year. Again, the numbers are just eye-opening. A projected $3.1 million loss, and those are just reported cases.
Exactly.
To the BBB. Lori Wilson, appreciate your time. Happy holidays. Thanks again.
Thank you. Same to you, Mike. Bye.